No one saw the pandemic coming. You know, there were no precursors like bird flu or swine flu or Ebola, and history books basically don't even mention Spanish flu except in a special section about why Brexit was a great idea. And the World Health Organization hadn't issued repeated warnings about pandemic preparedness. The NHS had never run out of beds during a normal winter flu season, and exercise sickness, which specifically modelled a pandemic outbreak and the recommendations of which were outright ignored by the government, is a figment of my imagination, right? And then by sheer bad luck, the pandemic hit right when the NHS was already being squeezed to breaking point, underfunded, understaffed, underpaid and unable to prepare properly for a crisis that many of them knew was a very, very real risk. Similarly, no one can predict what the next crisis will be, because no one can predict the future. Not tarot card readers, not crystal balls, the result of unprecedented climate change. Not palm reading, not even a crazy lady who lives in a cave.
It's climate change, you fucking idiots. It's fucking climate change.
So, is there any particular organisation in the UK that might end up in very high demand when the country is on fire? When there's loads of flooding and extreme weather knocking stuff down and people needing to be rescued? What is the emergency service that puts out fires and rescues people? They probably ought to come up with like a catchy name or something, right? So just on the off chance that they turn out to be vital to all of our lives and well-being really, really soon, I thought we might have a little check-in on how the fire and rescue service is doing these days. So, since 2017, we've lost 13.8% of funding for fire and rescue. And that's a really short time frame, right? 2017 is when this happened. And it's also when this happened. Oh yeah, almost 15% of fire service funding has gone since Grenfell. But it's an ongoing problem. Since 2010, we have 21% less firefighters. 1 in 5 firefighters has gone in like 10 years. And practically that means that there now aren't enough firefighters for the equipment that they have. So when you see a fire station with like 3 or 4 different vehicles behind big doors, in fact, if all those vehicles are needed at the same time, there aren't enough people to operate them. There have already been situations in which a building is on fire and they've had to choose whether to send an engine with a water pump to put the fire out or a vehicle with a high platform to rescue people. And I bet you assumed the answer would be, both please, and not, well, I'd hate to see this spread or any of my furniture get further damaged, so I guess we'll just have to let Granny jump. And there's another big issue that is literally a few weeks away. In 2006, the retirement age for firefighters was raised from 55, or 50 if they had enough years of service racked up, to 60. And that created a problem because people in their late 50s might struggle to meet the high fitness standards required for the fire service. So they were told, yes, work another 10 years, but don't worry if you can't meet the fitness requirements, you could be redeployed to other roles. And then they closed down the other roles and farmed them out to private companies, so everybody got screwed over if they were on the new system. And on April Fool's Day this year, yes, seriously, if irony caused fires, everyone on the old scheme is getting flipped over to the new scheme if they're still around. Now, there's currently about 39,000 full-time firefighters in the UK, and financially, maybe as many as 1,000 or 2,000 of them are going to lose out if they don't leave the service before then, take their retirement now. So, crisis situation now, couple of months to massively escalating crisis situation. And let's just hope, that one weird scientist with the fake qualifications and all the big oil money was right about sunspots, eh? Right? And while I'm on the subject, get this. The Fire and Rescue Service have no statutory requirement to rescue people from floods. And that's an issue because if they were statutorily required to, then the government would have to pay for specialist training and equipment for them, instead of which they just squeeze a bit of money out of other budgets that are already strained. So yeah, more floods are coming, and I know that this sounds like a joke, but the Fire and Rescue Service only pull you out of floods because they're nice. They don't have to, and they're not funded to do so. I mean, of course, if anyone could have predicted and warned us about the pandemic and how we weren't prepared for it, it might have been NHS workers themselves. So I wonder if right now any firefighters have got anything to say about this subject.
I've been a firefighter since 1995. These 1 in 100 year floods seem to be happening every season. We're getting wildfires, even in London.
The area we're in now is a common floodplain. It has been right up to the fence line that runs by the road. That's unheard of until recent times.
If we've got a dry summer, this woodland behind me, although it looks green and lush, will become like a tinderbox.
The fire service is so stretched, and since it's been cut so much over the last 10 years, when large incidents happen, we can't be everywhere at once, and there will be people who can't be helped by the fire service because we can't get there in time.
We've sent firefighters up from London, up to Manchester, up to Saddleworth Moor.
Those fire engines which left London, the West Midlands, Newcastle, then left their own station areas exposed.
The wood we're in today is surrounded by housing, so if we were to have a fire here, it's going to have a massive impact on the local population. Also, we don't know how many people are in this woodland right now, so you've got the risk to the public.
The job I do is to be here to help people and to be making decisions of, do we risk taking our fire appliance through washed out roads to get there as quick as we can, or do we delay and try and find a detour? It's a burden that is massive on all of us.
The new firefighters, what are joining now, they've got maybe 40 years service in front of them. What are they going to be fronting?
The firefighters are the ones that are going to be dealing with this, so it's really important that our voice is heard.
We definitely need more resources, we need even more training, we need better funding.
We need immediate and decisive action.
It needs workers' voices heard, union voices heard, to push the message that the leaders in industry, the leaders at government level are failing us. We're facing disasters on a yearly basis. Firefighters and public sector workers are out there having to rescue people from their own homes, their place of safety. This needs to change. We need to wake up to this.